my heart and passion is with motorsport. So, yeah, to finally be in Formula One and be doing as well as I think I'm doing this season, I'm loving every minute.
Yeah, you've had a couple of good place finishes, haven't you, as well?
Yeah.
I remember when we spoke to you last year, McLaren were in that sort of, I suppose, a transitional period where they had a few difficult years for such a successful team in the past. Is there a feeling that they are sort of moving in the right direction?
I think there's a bit of a feeling. I don't want to jinx anything, but we're getting there. We're progressing, but it's not an easy world to just make changes overnight and suddenly be loads better. You know, this takes years of development and progress. So I'm doing my best. The team, the factory, they're all doing their best they can to progress, get closer to where I think McLaren deserve to be.
And this is, from your point of view even as well, what, constant conversations, constant changing things?
It's, well, I'm a very busy guy. So it's, constantly speaking with my engineers, talking about, you know, small problems with the car, what can be improved, seeing the aerodynamicists or the engineers back at McLaren. You know, there's over 1,000 people back at McLaren. So makes a lot of pressure, gives me a lot of pressure on my shoulders because, you know, I'm having to perform, I'm having to do my job for them. And if I don't get a good result or I don't, or I make a mistake, you know, I feel bad or good depending on.
There's a lot of pressure for a young man.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
You enjoy it,
growing up.
You enjoy it?
I do. I guess the first race of this.
It's wrong, I don't want to make a mistake, or you're just thinking, what a moment this is?
Well, for the build-up, that's all you think of. You think, oh, I've got to think of this, don't want to make a mistake here or here. But then you have the lights come on, 5 lights come on, and then everything else just goes out the window. You might as well just forget everything you've ever thought of. The lights come on, you have to react to the lights as quickly as possible. You go into turn 1, you've got cars all around you. It's pretty crazy. So, I mean, there's so many things to think of. Strategy, we've got loads of little buttons and switches on the steering wheel. So it's not as easy as it looks always from the outside.
I don't think it looks easy, by the way. You compromised your own race in Monaco, yep, to help out a teammate. You've been commended for that. So tell me about the sort of thought processes going around that as well.
Well, it was a mixed race because Monaco is very difficult to overtake. And I started on tyres which weren't performing very well, and I didn't have a lot of pace myself. So we just stayed out. I kept going laps and laps, even when my pace wasn't very good necessarily, to still try and get the best result for myself. It wasn't like, you know, I was like, no, this race was over for me. I still did everything I could because there was still a chance of getting points. But at the same time, there's an opportunity to get Carlos 1 or 2 positions more, which was, a team game. But at the same time, I just missed out by a point, by a second or something. So I was a little bit annoyed.
And you've got a huge weekend to look forward to. We've got so much. We often at the moment talk about the amount of sport around this summer to appreciate. And now you've got the British Grand Prix this week.
My home Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I raced there last year, but in Formula 2. So now it's Formula 1. You know, I've seen Jensen, I've seen Lewis race there in the past, and how crazy the crowd go and the fans. So that's something I've always looked forward to, and something I am really looking forward to next weekend.
I know, you know, it's incredibly noisy, confined where you are. Can you still get a sense of the crowd?
I think when the lights are coming on and you may be passing the crowd and they're cheering, I think you can just about hear them. Especially with the engines nowadays in Formula 1 a bit quieter than what they used to be. So there's a possibility I will be listening out, seeing if I can hear them. But job number 1 is try and get the best result possible.
And it looks like, you well know, there are so many motor racing fans in the UK.
Yeah.
Do you fear for the future of the British Grand Prix? Because it's certainly not going to return next year. Do you think something will be sorted out?
I think a lot of people would be hugely disappointed if we didn't have a British Grand Prix, especially at Silverstone. Such an iconic track. The history there as well is pretty insane. So, I mean, if you ask a lot of the drivers what's their favourite track, I'm pretty sure Silverstone would be in the top 5 at least. Maybe for some drivers, the top 1. So, it's a track I love driving. It's one I've driven since I pretty much started in car racing. So I love it. I think a lot of drivers, a lot of fans love it. So yeah, it would be a real shame.
Also helps knowing it well, doesn't it? Lando Norris, thank you very much indeed. Best of luck. Thanks for coming to see us.
Fascinating to see that this weekend.